All right, I believe we are live. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I'm your host, Tone Vays. It's a laid-back Saturday here in the woods of Pennsylvania. A few people reached out to me who are in the Poconos region. I am in the Poconos region. I'm a bit north of that. Uh, I'm just so busy. I think next summer I'm just going to host a bunch of barbecues out here. But maybe people reach out to me again. Leave a comment if you're in this area. Don't really want to dox where I am, so we'll see. I'll think about it. But yeah, maybe we'll go like rafting around here or something. Uh, a lot of fun stuff to do. But it really depends on how often I'll be streaming and uh, how much work I got to do for these events. But I figured let's do some Q&A. There's nothing to talk about in the charts. They are boring as hell. They cannot be any more boring. So I am going to go to the charts. Where I'm just going to take a quick peek. Did a video early morning yesterday before my flight from Miami to here. This is the long-term view. The month is about to roll over, and we are exactly where I expected as one of the two paths for Bitcoin on a long-term scale. Looking at the weekly chart. It's not looking that great. At least we rallied off of the low 29,000s. It is a red star candle. This candle ends today. I don't like this consolidation, but there is support right around the corner. And remember, guys, the longer it consolidates, the more likely it is to break out above 34,000. As far as our allocation is concerned, we're going to hold on to that 80% bullish allocation. However, if next candle starts trading lower than current candle, there might be time to lower that bullish allocation. If you like my work and would like to support, there is an affiliate page. I need to remove about half of these affiliates. Some of these companies don't even exist anymore. I think LVL has shut down. I've never collected anything from LVL. Like I was on their affiliate page. I have no idea if they owe me money. I've never collected it in case IRS is watching. So I have nothing to file. And yeah, Jimmy Song and Willie Wu were like advisors to the company. I met the CEO. It never made sense to me. I wasn't gonna be involved in the company. I very rarely get involved in companies or projects. And yeah, I think LVL is no more. That has to come down. Swan's doing well. Check out Swan. I actually have no idea if this affiliate actually kicks back anything. I have no idea. Like I just put on projects of like friends and stuff that I support, um, like Ugly Old Goat and Buy the Dip shirts, which I also don't think have a store anymore. Little disclaimer. Yeah. So like half of this stuff doesn't even work. People are like, Tone, your links don't work. I'm like, I know. But if you have one of those. I gotta check in with Embley. I haven't talked to them in like a year. Anyway, if you want to support my work, buy one of the products. Buy an on-demand video. These are trading education videos. The options course remained at 1,500. I never raised the price. I'm still thinking about raising the price. And the MRI indicator as well, staying at $400 for now. Financial Summit is an awesome event, this time in the UAE. So come and join us. Check out the video. Oh, we got to put the latest highlight video up here. All right, I got to do that. We do have a YouTube channel. We're going to start posting content. Please subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Carvana stock. Can a moderator throw that in the Q&A chat that we have? And non-confiscatable coming to Las Vegas. Daily chart cannot be more boring. It's equally as boring as the weekly chart. On the daily, the BitMEX funding rate continues to favor the bulls for quite a while. Man, when this thing flips, it's really going to flip. I mean, eventually, people like Plan B are going to be right. We are going to go past 300,000. It's only a matter of when, not if. The RSI? RSI is in the middle. RSI is trending down. I can make a bullish case for the RSI, but it's leaning bearish. Can't make a bullish case for the MACD, however, that is just disastrous looking. And I cannot make a bullish case for the CMF. That is also disastrous looking. Not much to see here. We are hugging a 50-period moving average that is quickly rising. Short-term chart, not interesting at all. The oil chart has been very interesting. Look where the oil closed. Oil closed at the highs. It closed at $80.63. We are $2 away from an annual high. That is significant, and it will force the hand the Biden administration to siphon off, like the junkies that they are, the strategic petroleum reserve that the country needs in case of war or natural disaster, but they are siphoning it off for political reasons. I mean, it's possible to be angrier. It's possible to be angry at so many things with this administration, but to me, this is one of the biggest things to be angry about. To me, this is an impeachable offense. Like, of all the things that Biden has done, including tripping up the stairs, of all the things Biden has done, this to me is the most impeachable offense, more than the corruption in Ukraine, more than, his son in the White House with powders, more than the documents that were in his garage. I mean, sniffing hair is a completely different offense. I don't know if I don't know if you can impeach him for that. But to me, this, of all the things that Biden administration has done, including the election that we all know who won that election, of all the things, to me, this right here, especially what happened last year, the siphoning off of 221 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve that should only be used in times of war and in times of natural disaster. This is literally what it was built for. And using it for political reasons is an impeachable offense to me. It's the most egregious thing ever. No one is talking about this. No one. So frustrating. No one is discussing this. I'm bullish on natural gas. Nothing has changed. What's going on in Wisconsin? Hanami, thank you so much for following my work. Thank you to the moderators. We got Motorist, it's hard. In there, Winston, shout out. WTI crude chart. Yeah, that was the chart. This is the WTI crude chart. Yep, Joe Saz is in Wisconsin. That's right. Back to YouTube. He's back on YouTube. Different channel. Find it on his Twitter. Gold. I am bullish on gold. We discussed in the last Twitter spaces why I've been bullish on gold. Gold closed 10 cents shy of 2,000. I think gold is going to 3,000 in the near future. Hey, Raphael, welcome. S&P 500 closed fairly strong on the week. Let's see where we closed on the day. We rallied on Friday nicely. Bitcoin didn't follow. I remain very bullish on the stock market. Guys, until I am proven wrong, my outlook for the stock market is as bullish as it humanly gets. This is my outlook for the stock market. And the reason for the crash is because I believe these companies will no longer be part of the S&P. They're going to leave, or new AI companies are going to just displace these companies, and the new companies will not go public on the American Stock Exchange. The new companies will go public on the Bitcoin blockchain. I think that's the future. I think in the future, companies will go public on the Bitcoin blockchain with a token. I think the destruction of the United States will take place somewhere during this red line. This red line begins in 2027 and it ends in 2031. It may last till 2032. Martin Armstrong really thinks it'll be 2032. I like Martin Armstrong. I do need to catch up on his blog. Maybe I should slide this a bit. Let's slide this over. Let's put the right side in the summer of 2032. July sounds good. 4th of July, that sounds fitting. July 5th, there you go. And I'll just expand this green line to there. So this is kind of my outlook. I'm expecting a giant burst in the market. I think it'll happen after the election, not before. So maybe we should start in 2025. Let's do that. We're going to start this in 2025. And until then, I'm just going to try and expand this channel. So I'm expecting something like this. I guess I can move it like that. Market's going to skyrocket, and then the companies are going to leave the US because I don't think there will be a United States. There might be states, but they certainly will not be united. What about the Bitcoin gong? I couldn't bring it up here to the cabin. It'd be cool to just have it outside, like a giant gong. Wonder if it's waterproof and winterproof. Can I explain what's going on with short-term 10-year treasury yields? Probably not. Has Lynn Alden commented on this? I'm not a fixed income expert, guys. I just know not to touch fixed income. I think that's the most dangerous asset we have in the world right now, other than shitcoins, is government fixed income. Wouldn't the timing depend on the price of Bitcoin after the halving and the election? Not really. The timing of what? The S&P skyrocketing and then collapsing because America is broken up into pieces? Probably not. You know, when Biden stood on that stadium and yelled, "This man can't remain in power," you guys know he was talking about himself, right? What are my thoughts on Uber? I don't know. Let's go take a look. All right, I got a few requests already. So let's go take a look at those requests. Let's start with fixed income. Famous last words. Anybody want to look at shitcoins? No. Ten-year yield. Let's see. Well, 10-year yield is interesting. That's the bond. Yeah, it's a 10-year yield. Well, it was higher. It was higher back in October of 22. Well, my projection. Look at my prediction. That's the daily chart. The daily chart's not that interesting. Let's go to the monthly chart. This is my prediction of the 10-year yield. I think the 10-year yield is going above 5%. I don't think people are going to trust American debt. If Trump and RFK run as independents, we are fucked. Yeah, I agree. So my vote goes to Trump. My backup vote goes to RFK. And my vote after that, I'll probably write in Ron Paul or something. I don't know. There is no other good candidate. Maybe that business guy, Vijay something, but nobody knows his name. Neither do I. He's pretty good. Ron DeSantis, I think, is actually ironically, I think Ron DeSantis is amazing for Florida, but I would not vote for him as president. I don't think Ron DeSantis would make a good president. I really don't. I'd rather see Trump. I'd rather see RFK. I don't think either one will be on the final ballot. I'm not expecting it. I'd like to be pleasantly surprised. From your perspective, what does the next 10 years look like for the average Joe living in America? I think they're gonna realize how Rome collapses. Guys, I don't think America's making it 10 more years as a single nation. I don't think so. I think it's gonna split. I think if you're in Florida or in Texas or anywhere in the US South, I think you'll be okay. If you're in the North, you're in serious trouble. Even if it's like South Dakota or Wyoming or New Hampshire, these places are surrounded by Marxism. You're not going to make it. You have no outlet to the ocean. You're not going to make it. You can't make it as a capitalist state surrounded by communism. You just won't make it. So personally, I would not I'd rather buy land in Texas or Florida. I mean, those states have a chance, And Texas is on the edge right there. Actually, the only thing that would save Texas is Bitcoin, because if Texas succeeds, they'll be the number one, country for Bitcoin mining, and there'll be enough Bitcoiners there, to kind of keep the Californians in check. Minnesota should be fine. Oh yeah, how did Minnesota do during the BLM riots? And didn't they burn down Minneapolis? Minnesota's not going to be fine. You'll be fine because you don't have any people, especially in the winter. But no, you won't. You'll be right up there with the rest of the commies. You're too close to Canada. There's nothing really to say about the 10-year yield. This chart looks ugly. I expected a bit of a pullback last year, and now I'm expecting the yield to rise. I have not seen RFK's discussions on Israel. I think most discussions on Israel are a disaster waiting to happen. I personally don't discuss Israel because, I'd rather go full-on discussion of Russia-Ukraine than discuss Israel-Palestine. Well, that's the one topic I generally stay away from. I don't talk about Israel. RFK's got some cojones to talk about Israel. I'll talk about almost any topic, but the one topic I don't talk about is Israel. That's the one topic I stay away from. Israel, Palestine, I stay away from that. I also don't know enough about it, and I have never been to Israel to really see it for myself, so it's hard for me to talk about it. I've been to Russia and Ukraine, so I feel a lot more comfortable talking about that topic. I generally have no comment on the situation. RFK is full neocon on Israel. Patrick, that doesn't make sense to me. Like that comment doesn't make sense to me, right? Um, Neocons are generally pro-Israel. So how can you be full neocon on Israel? So is he anti-Israel or is he for Israel? Um, I don't think Japan will financially implode. Eurozone will. I've been to Japan. Their society is uh, pretty homogeneous, and Japan will be fine. Like if Japan defaults on its debt, the people will still eat. The people will still do their work. They'll just change currency. Europe is eating itself. It's eating itself. Did you guys see the latest news? Look at this. EU is about to force visas on US citizens, right? So, and all the Caribbean passports and everything, right? Beginning January 24, Americans will have to get a travel authorization to enter 30 countries, making the end of visa free for Europe. So I'm lazy as hell. I hate applying for visas. Uh, and like I'm likely not going to be going to Europe anymore. Like they don't realize how lazy Americans are. Like this alone is gonna eliminate travel from the US for tourism from Americans by 50%. Like all the migrants from every corner of the earth are allowed to enter Europe, right? Um, Syria, Lebanon, Congo, anywhere, right? So Europe is welcome to every migrant known to man. But if you're an American with an American passport, you now need a visa. Uh, this is insane. Uh, so Dubai realized real quick that when they put in COVID restrictions, people stopped coming to Dubai, and their country was going to be turned back into a desert. Uh, and they said, nope, COVID restrictions are gone. See, because Dubai and the UAE is not a democracy, they put in a regulation and they realized how horrendous that regulation is. And within a month, that regulation was reversed. Now, the United States also put in a ridiculous legislation. It was called the 17th Amendment. 17th Amendment. I think it was the 17th Amendment. No, not the 17th. 19th? No, that's also voting. Jesus. Which amendment banned alcohol? Prohibition. I need to relearn 18th Amendment. That was close. Damn it. Okay. So the United States also put in a dumb law, right? But because the United States is a republic democracy, it took them 17 years to reverse something where every single citizen, including every single politician, realized the following week what a dumb decision this was. And it took 17 years to reverse it. And the Great Depression. Europe is just doing one stupid thing after another. All right, let's look at some stocks. There was a request for BIRG. Bank of Ireland. Tops on an MRI on a monthly scale. Bank of Ireland looks bullish. Actually, Bank of Ireland looks super bullish. Looks like they IPO'd recently. I really thought Ireland and their bank existed pre-2017, but maybe not. And weekly chart looks bullish to me. So if you're holding it, if I was holding it, I would keep holding it. Next, what do we have on request? I see go to some kind of Chinese stock. I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. Though, maybe a 20-foot pole. It's got signs of life. It's got signs of life here. It bottomed on an MRI, which is good. And it did it the last time too. I was bullish on this thing. I must have looked at it a while ago. It didn't really go to my target. Gave you another buying opportunity. Yeah, I think it'll go. I'll just move this arrow up. But on a long-term scale, I mean, this thing is not going back to all-time high. It's just a short-term play. It's like a shitcoin. Jesus, that's bad. What else we got? There was a request for Carvana. What did they do? I don't like it. I wouldn't touch it. It just went up a lot. Yeah, it went up a lot. I mean, what the hell is this? No, I wouldn't touch it. It's up 50, it's up 500% in 3 weeks. I mean, did they cure cancer? I have no idea what they did. Oh, what a beautiful diamond right there. Jesus. Matt, shout out. You had a diamond here, and then you doubled down over here. Great job. Great job by Alphanumetrics. I mean, and my green star. I mean, the green star is not shabby. I wouldn't have been in it, and I wouldn't do it. But I'm not stopping you guys from doing it. I would. What else we got? Uber. Oh, people are asking for copper. Ambient superconductor discovery out of South Korea. I have no idea what that means. Oh, I'm bullish on Uber. I've been bullish on Uber. You guys know how bullish I am on Uber. I am bearish on Lyft. I have not used Lyft in like 4 years. I don't know anyone that uses Lyft. I've been bearish on Lyft. I've been bullish on Uber. I'm still bullish on Uber. Uber looks good. Uber looks like a great chart. I wouldn't buy now, but I've been bullish on Uber, and you guys know that. Thoughts on Chinese stocks? Not really. It's like China is also like it's like a Israel issue. I don't know enough. I can't really comment on China other than China will be the next global superpower. Russia will need to try and contain it. US will be useless, utterly useless to contain China. It'll literally be up to Russia and the BRICS and the rest of the BRICS, Russia and India. For now, it's Russia. In the future, India. India will be the only country that will eventually overtake China as the capital of the world. So it's get ready for China being dominant the next 100 years. Yeah, we can look at JMIA. I have copper on the list. So if the US is going to collapse, when do you predict that the US debt holders will start unloading that debt wholesale? 2027, 2028? Towards the end of the next presidency. Not even RFK will stop it. And I mean, I hope he does, but I don't think he'll be president. I don't think he'll be allowed to. I should have copper futures here. I do have limited time. I have, oh, I don't have as much time as I thought. I only have 15 minutes, guys. Where's copper? Isn't copper CO? How's the ticker for copper? Oh, okay, it's HG, sorry. HG. Copper looks bullish to me. Copper looks bullish to me. No, I'm gonna keep the Woods cabin. It's not worth selling. I had it for a while. I don't want to age myself. It only costs like $2,000 a year in maintenance and a few $100 in taxes, and then whatever expenses, like cutting down trees or putting more gravel on the ground. Like it really costs almost nothing to maintain. I'll keep it. I already sold the New York condo. Thoughts on Bitcoin mining after halving? I think somebody asked me that earlier. What effect will Bitcoin halving have on the price of Bitcoin? It's going to go up, of course. Bitcoin will rise. Thoughts on coin? I think the SEC is going to delist them. They're rising right now, but I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch coin. I'd stay away from this. I'd stay away from coin. Roku ENVX. ENVX. No idea what they do. I mean, they're okay. Tone Vays, what's the Tone Vays rule on trading? When a stock IPOs, when a stock IPOs, you wait for a 50% correction. 53%. Look at that. The Tone Vays rule of trading. You wait for a 50% correction before buying into an IPO. There it is. Though this one is a little trickier. I usually expect it before it triples in price. I have no idea what they do, but they're very volatile about it. I'd wait for a pullback to the moving average and then potentially bullish. Roku. Whoa! Did they cure cancer? What they do? Oh, Jesus. Okay. So Roku, MRI top, MRI top. Another MRI top. And now a couple of green stars, broke MRI resistance. I mean, I'd be bullish, but I wouldn't be buying right here. This is a weekly scale. I can tell you which day I would have bought. It would have been around here when we were breaking, like say 77, 78. And what day would that have been? Oh, no, I wouldn't have done it. Earnings, right? Yeah, no. I would not have been in this trade. Unless I was doing my straddle strategy, no, I wouldn't be in this. No idea. I mean, it's bullish. I mean, how can you not be bullish? But opportunities missed. JMIA. This opportunity should not have been missed. Been talking about JMIA at the lows for a while. I've been bullish on the stock for a while, and this is where you take your profit. Beautiful. This is where you take your profit, wait for a pullback, and go back in. I'll leave this, but MRI top, take your profit. And of course, Bitfarms, my other favorite stock. MRI top, you should have taken your profit as well. Wait for a pullback. NTRB. Looks good. Looks bullish. Looks bullish on the daily. I don't think it'll go to new all-time highs. I'd be careful, but it's bullish for now. Next moving average, maybe. Someone has asked me if our body needs fiber. I don't think it does. People that only eat meat do just fine. They don't have a bathroom issue. It depends on what you eat. Some bodies need a massive amount of fiber. Some don't. If you want to know about water, go check out Andrew Huberman's podcast on water. Not an expert on water. I don't drink too much water. USD SEK. Let's go to the foreign exchange market. Let's look at DXY. I'm still bullish on DXY. I think DXY strength is going to break the United States. SEK, that's Sweden. Should be over here somewhere. That's Euro SEK. Here's USD SEK. ECK is going to devalue. I think Sweden entering NATO is a huge mistake for Sweden. I think Norway entering NATO is a huge mistake for Norway. Any interesting facts on climate change? Not really, but like climate naturally changes. Done. Stop companies from causing pollution. I think the more I listen to RFK, the less crazy he seems on climate change, and the more rational he sounds that he's anti-pollution mostly. He just didn't express it very well in the past. All right, guys, I need to get going. When gold's 3,000, I see silver $50. So here's gold. Let's look at gold annual. Here's the annual gold chart. So when gold goes to 3,000, yeah. So when gold goes to 3,000, it would have 3x its 1980s all-time high. And when gold hits 3,000, I believe silver will be 50 right here. So this is kind of sort of inflation adjusted a little bit, like backwardish. Silver hit 50 right here. Like this is the futures. If I change this, if I just go to silver, you see how right here is the same price. So when gold goes to 3,000, silver will go to 50. And then gold will fall from 3,000 back to 2,000. And silver is going to fall from 50 back to like 20. I just think silver is a bad investment. But here's a but coming. Silver going from $25 to $50 is 100% increase. Gold going from 2,000 to 3,000 is only a 33% increase. The problem happens when gold then drops 30%. Silver is going to drop 50% or 60 or 7. It's a shitcoin to Bitcoin. It's a shitcoin to gold's gold. Chris, you have a great question. If the oil reserve is such a big thing, why wouldn't the opposition talk about it or the media? I think they will just make a deal with Saudi to recover it. No, they're not going to make a deal with Saudi to recover it. Saudi hates America's guts. The media is not going to talk about it because the media is Marxist with the administration. Now, why isn't the opposing side talking about it? Honestly, because they're stupid. That's my best explanation. Because most of them are stupid. Not all of them, but most of them. Reminds me of my favorite Giacomo tweet of all time. My favorite Giacomo Zucco tweet of all time. The greatest tweet ever. No one even noticed it. Hold on. Giacomo Zucco, Twitter. Most of you are just stupid. Let me see. Oh, come on. Oh, I know I have a screenshot of this tweet somewhere. It's my favorite tweet. I don't know. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll see it right in this thread. No, it's not even a thread. Man. Hold on. Let me try this. Not all of you are scammers. It's gonna be hard to find. Anyway, he was arguing with some shitcoiner, and the comment was, "We're not all scammers." And then he replied, "Go to Zuka Twitter, then search." No, it's okay. And then he replies, "Yes, not all of you are scammers. Only the founders of tokens. The rest of you are just stupid." That was the best tweet ever. He's like, "Yes, not all of you are scammers. Most of you are just stupid." All right, I need to get going, guys. Oh, of course they'll blame the next president for the missing oil. Oh, they're going to be worse. They're buying oil on behalf of the next president. They're buying oil futures that the next president will have to pay for in the future. So not only are they going to blame the next president for why the oil reserve is so low, they're going to force the next president to raise gasoline prices because they're gonna buy these contracts that the next administration will be obligated to pay for them. It's worse than that. It's worse. It's always worse. It's what I also say about shitcoins. People are like, Tone, how come you talking shit about this project? You haven't even looked at it. I'm like, because every time I look at a project, it's always worse than when I talk shit about a project I haven't looked into yet. The moment I start looking into it, it's always worse than my than my craziest imagination of how ridiculous the projects are. It's always worse. It's never been better. It's always worse. All right, guys, come join us at the conference. Come to Unconfiscatable in Las Vegas in December, or if you're near Dubai in November, come and join us there for the financial summit. Tone, have you seen Osho's government by? I have no idea what that is, actually. I mean, they were talking about it. Here, Senate hearing on SPR. Wow, is that even going to show up? Full committee hearing to consider. No. No. There it is. Right here. This was crazy. This was insane. You have to watch all of this. It's on YouTube as well. I mean, that's how I saw it. Let me see if it's the right one. Let me see if it's the right one.
Summarize that for you.
Jesus Christ. Who are the speakers?
Data for the week of September 20.
This is not it. This is not the one.
Serve as a reminder.
This is not the one. This is not the one. Maybe it wasn't the Senate, maybe it was the House. Yeah, see? House GOP passes bill to curb Biden's oil reserve. It failed. It failed. They tried. It failed. House hearings on SPR. Anyway, you can find it on YouTube. Subscribe to us first. Committee hearing on oil reserve. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Yeah, it's this one right here, right here. See the red line? I watched it all. It was insane. It was insane.
Of course, I proudly tried to advise fossil fuel companies, including coal companies, how to tell their story better. But to use my expertise and my convictions and to claim.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is real quickly read our rules of witness decorum. And I would remind them that this is a violation of the rules of the House of Representatives to engage in personalities regarding the president or make statements that are personally offensive to him, that the rules govern members in debate and also applies to us as witnesses deliver their testimony. And so what I would ask is if Ms. Luna could perhaps rephrase to say maybe some untruths that were spoken. I think that would be fair and part of the decorum, because we're going to disagree all day long on certain topics as the two parties. And sometimes we do agree, and many times we don't. And so perhaps just rephrasing the question would satisfy everyone. And Ms. Luna, you're recognized for your full 5 minutes.
Mr. Epstein, would you please correct
Luna's
some
great.
of the mistruths spoken about you? I would like to hear your perspective on what is factually accurate.
Luna's great. She should run for president.
So one I think I addressed very clearly this idea of any kind of racism, and she attributed this as almost an exact quote, me talking about the racial superiority of Western culture. And I clarified probably 5 times that Western culture has nothing to do with race, and it's about ideas, particularly individuals and freedom and reason. So it didn't seem very honest to me to portray me as saying racial superiority. It seemed like another attempt to discredit me. And I think there's an inability to actually refute any of my arguments. And I think the same thing is true with the attack that I'm somehow representing and paid for by the fossil fuel industry. First of all, if I were, which I'm not, we need representatives of the fossil fuel industry here because they have expertise on this issue, which is about oil. So that's one thing, but it's just factually false. So I came to all of my ideas independently. And I said, once I came to the conclusion that fossil fuels are good, of course, I proudly tried to advise fossil fuel companies, including coal companies, how to tell their story better. But to use my expertise and my convictions and to claim that I am dishonest and should not be listened to when I made a compelling case, I didn't think that was appropriate.
Mr. Epstein, I just wanted to ask you real quick, is China somehow protected by an invisible shield that prevents their carbon emissions from escaping?
No.
Okay, so if we have the ability to produce clean energy here or at lower carbon emissions versus China, don't you think that would be better for the climate?
Yes, but I think the main thing is the world needs. needs far more energy. And if you care about emissions, you need to find truly cost competitive ways to do that. And the best way to do that is through freedom, through liberating nuclear, through liberating natural gas. And unfortunately, this administration is focused on limiting the freedom of certain industries, namely fossil fuels, including natural gas, and then imposing extremely expensive things that the market won't choose on its own, which is the whole IRA, which is just a total subsidy fest that does nothing to make alternatives truly cost competitive.
I agree with you. I think from a perspective on also national security, to say that somehow the United States is going to go to completely electrical grid would actually pose a massive threat to us.
Yes.
Because if you have a hacker, they could shut down an entire first world country. And obviously that's something that we don't want. My final question for you is, first of all, thank you for coming to testify before Congress. I appreciate you being here. But with everything that we just heard, I mean, what is the best way that we as a country can really prevent China from essentially owning us? Because as you stated earlier, the Paris Climate Accord, I mean, us even engaging in that is hindering us while they're polluting and destroying our planet. And I hear a lot about climate change, but few people of action that are willing to actually address that.
Can I just comment on the grid, which you also mentioned?
Yes, of course.
Because you mentioned the security threat of the grid and it's vulnerable to these kinds of attacks. I think the number one thing that it's vulnerable to is we are catastrophically reducing the supply of reliable electricity and then catastrophically increasing the demand for reliable electricity. And so California, where I live, is a perfect example. We've attacked fossil fuels, we've attacked nuclear, so we have less reliable electricity. And then we're trying to mandate electric everything. And this is why, as I mentioned, Newsom had this announcement, no more internal combustion engine vehicles. And then 5 days later, he had to say, don't charge your EV. And we have signs all over the place saying, don't use your electricity. We only have 3% penetration of EVs. So we're talking about this catastrophic, unthinking increase of EVs. And we are actually threatened, I have this documented, we're threatened to lose 20% of our reliable electricity in the next 7 years under the Biden EPA. So that is a catastrophic threat. I can also answer about China if you'd like. So, I mean, the thing with China is China actually cares about energy and they are doing what is good for their people and also the power lust of the government in terms of energy. So they, for example, use 5 times as much industrial electricity as we do, overwhelmingly coal. And the only way for us to be secure and outcompete them is to have a very aggressive energy freedom policy. And that includes, one is liberating domestic development from things like NEPA, which unfortunately this administration has done nothing to do, and in fact reversed the good Trump administration things like NEPA. We need to end preferences for unreliable electricity and actually have all forms of electricity compete so we can actually have a stable grid. We need to reform the EPA so it stops shutting down reliable power plants. We need to what I call decriminalize nuclear, not just subsidize it and this kind of thing. And in general, we need an emissions policy of long-term reductions, not catastrophic emergency reductions, through liberating American innovation, not punishing America. And what the IRA does is it punishes America and accomplishes nothing globally because, as you said, Chinese emissions influence the global emissions picture just as much as American emissions do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Obviously, that was very factual, and I think you're very well qualified to be here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Luna's great. She should run for president, though it's probably too late. And yeah, the discussion had moved on. The beginning of the discussion was all about the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And then the end of this is 1.5 hours, or almost 2 hours. And then the end of it was, how can the United States be more competitive and, give up its dominance to China later on in the future and not say by next year at current pace. All right, guys. On this note, I strongly recommend everyone watch this. This was a great Senate hearing, very frustrating. I don't understand how some of these people are in government. They are just a menace. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.